Welcome to Lizard Labs, where you can scale up your game faster than any other project in Web3. I'm Annie, the Chief Ethlizard Officer at Lizard Labs, and if you're like me, for 3 years running, you've heard how every game studio in the sector is building out a massive global Readyverse, just like Ready Player One, with interoperable assets where everything is connected to every other game in the sector. The problem is, the technology doesn't actually work that way. The incentives and revenue structures for gaming studios also don't fit for this grand vision that we've been sold. And frankly, most gamers don't freaking care if you drop their Counter-Strike gun into a League of Legends battle and let them have at it. Most studios that raised off of this vision have delivered poor quality, boring gaming experiences, or even just straight up rugged their early stage investors and supporters. What if you could have a do-over, knowing which projects are actually building out meaningful games, and be able to support them retroactively? That'd be awful nice, huh? Well, that opportunity is available now with Lizard Labs. That's because while the intentions behind many of those failed promises aren't wrong, the execution has been very poor. Imagine a world where instead of these interconnected assets that gaming studios are building, you get an adventure that allows you to have immersion as you move from game studio to game studio. Gamers don't want stuff that moves from one experience to another. They want themselves to feel like they move across their virtual lives. When they leave one game and they move to the next, they want to feel like their community, their identity, and their achievements are all retained as they cross from game to game. Lizard Labs is building these innovative experiences. We take NFTs and IP from existing top-tier studios, and we're building out meaningful gameplay with these partners on top of their primary games. This could be everything from a cosmetic NFT that we build gamified utility around. Sometimes it might be a primary game asset that we build a new game mode with. And in other products, it's a metagame competition, like in esports tournaments, that no one in the sector has even envisioned. In addition to this, we've got an entire suite of offerings as an emerging Web3 gaming startup accelerator that we're providing many studios in the sector with. From our very own launchpad that's already funded 2 projects, over $350,000 in the first month, and an overall community that's grown $6 million in deal flow through various studios over the past 3 years, we're helping the best projects build in Web3 gaming, and we have been for multiple years. When I think of Lizard Labs, I always use the analogy of the Web3 gaming mullet. We've got serious building going on in the front, and an irreverent, memey party in the back in the underground lounge. Our Lizard Lounge app is not only a fun place to hang out in Discord, it's expanding to be an end-to-end platform with gamified questing, staking, and reward structures, not just with the Lizard Labs ecosystem, but with many of our partners as well. LizCoin is going to be the native token of the Lizard Labs ecosystem and serves as the primary governance and utility token that I'll share more about in a bit. Particularly of interest to you as a creator and KOL, we have the Green Room launching shortly. This is our premium Web3 gaming talent agency for studios to bring on trusted ethical KOLs and creators to assist with gaming, token, and project campaigns. But the most important campaign and what we're doing as a studio is who we're actually building with. If you look at the sector, there are probably 20 studios that seem like the strongest horses in the race for the future of gaming over the next decade and beyond. These studios actually get it. They understand that quality gaming experiences, as well as substantial marketing and well-defined token and NFT structures, is key to success, not just empty promises and amazing trailers. We've partnered with half of these top 20 studios, and the rest of those are on our radar for potential future partnerships. These are the types of studios that we believe will be building out years in the future, and we're taking the time to focus on our next rounds of minigames and metagames that we're building out with them. You see, our approach is a similar construct to what many modding communities and other successful third-party studios have done in Web 2. Take an amazing game like PUBG or Dota, add some additional gaming elements that elevate it, and you can get magical outputs. You might see a lot of aggregator or platform types of projects that show you 50 or 70 games that they're partnered with. However, when you dig into them, all but 1 or 2 games are likely to end up with no players on them because they're just not very good. Platforms only work if people want to be playing the underlying games behind them. I had one investor share with me during one of our earlier rounds that they view Ethlizards and Lizard Labs as a Web3 gaming blue chip ETF. They felt like they missed a chance to get in on many of these projects in their early rounds, but this was a second chance to become involved with them from a studio that's building directly on top of their primary game platforms. We already have a successful product out with our Illuvium and our Battle in the Beyond platform that I'll share next. For now, these partners that we're set up with give us a strong roadmap of studios to develop over the next 2 years. This greatly reduces the biggest risk and cost of most game studios and ecosystems, user acquisition. We have a massive advantage that new players are funneled to our experiences as our studio partners grow, so we don't have to be the only drivers of bringing people in to our ecosystem. Because of this, Lizard Labs will become the Nexus of Web3 Gaming. In addition, if a studio that we've missed has massive success, we can easily pivot and add them to our partnership list and build out with them further. What does that actually look like when we talk about minigames and metagames? Well, Battle in the Beyond is the first example of a minigame product built out directly with Illuvium. We took the concept from the hugely popular mechanic for Counter-Strike skins. Anyone that knows CSGO knows that there's hundreds of millions of dollars annually that are exchanged in skins in Counter-Strike. We've taken that approach and applied it in a much more fun and engaging way by creating what we call disc battles with Illuvium discs. For those unfamiliar with the ecosystem, a disc contains both Illuvitar characters and accessories that you can open. As you do so, you gain ownership of the contents onto your wallet. A couple key innovations that we've built in are turning single-player mode into multiplayer mode. This means that we have a much more active community that enhances the stickiness of the actual product. We give more utility and functionality to a cosmetic line, which brings in new customers who typically wouldn't purchase only cosmetics. This allows us to have a very value-added affiliate sales model between Illuvium and Lizard Labs. And lastly, we recently added in wagering options to allow you to either play for ETH or play for pink slips, where the winner gets all of the contents of the discs after a match is done. We expect this is going to be wildly popular with Web3 gamers. Our first metagame product is going to be even more scalable across multiple studios. Powered by artificial intelligence, Lizard League will become the premier tournament play and wagering platform of Web3 gaming. With several of the most prominent studios in the sector already included in our initial launch, we're going to become a host to esports and top-quality gaming content. For those particularly confident in their skills, we'll offer secure peer-to-peer wagering functionality in-game with many of these studios. Optimized for guilds, esports organizations, DAOs, content creators, and highly competitive gamers, Lizard League will become a hub for the most important Web3 gaming studios in the space. We're targeting launch of the league before the end of 2024, so come play with us if you think that you can handle it. Let's talk a little bit more about the structures around Lizard Labs with our LizCoin upcoming launch. As I mentioned before, LizCoin will be the native governance token for the entire Lizard Labs gaming sub-DAO that's building out all of these games and other experiences and platforms. Starting after our token launch, we offer staking and token rewards, not just from LizCoin, but also from many tokens of our partner communities, so the studios that I shared earlier, along with dozens of others that we've been working with for the past 3 years. These are exclusive participation rewards, and starting at the 2-year mark after token launch, we also kick off a revenue sharing model with active participants who are staking LizCoin in our ecosystem. And speaking of our community, you're going to be joining one of the strongest communities in all of Web3. Our community is incredibly active and knowledgeable and has supported the development of the project in every step for the last 3 years. Many of you have seen the lizards floating around in the space, across Twitter, across Discord servers. You know both the knowledge and the passion about our community members. In addition, what you may not know is our community were majority participants in both the pre-seed and seed rounds. It's difficult to find NFT communities that have holders that don't want to exit as quickly as possible. For us, it's been the entire opposite. Our community members have wanted more participation every time we've given them the option across the last 3 years. We remain a community-first project, and that's become the lifeblood of the entire sector as we've watched emerge since 2021. So, participating in a KOL round is a great way to join the lizards in an early stage before we really open up to the entire sector to participate in our public sale. We all know where the market is right now. Capital is still precious, lockups for different token launches aren't ideal for you, but to address that, we've added a 15% liquidity premium where tokens from the KOL round will unlock at our token launch. This is combined with a very low public sale amount, allowing individuals that are participating here the chance to be active from the very beginning. These tokens are eligible then for our yield farming program that requires staking and active participation. We have many, many more tokens that are going to be shared via various airdrops and other participation, so stick with us to have a chance to get more deeply involved in Lizard Labs. So what does this opportunity look like for you specifically? Well, following the $4 million seed round that we just completed, we're running a small targeted KOL round. This is geared towards key influencers in the sector that are members of either alpha groups and organizations, or they're content creators and influencers within their own part of the sector. This round is at a $25 million valuation compared to the $40 million public sale valuation. The terms are designed to be both favorable with some initial liquidity for investors, but also to reflect that we want partners who believe in the long-term potential of both our project and the industry. So we do have some lockups that are longer than average for the remaining 85% of tokens in this round. I asked you at the start of the presentation, what would it be like to have a second shot to invest with some of these top Web3 gaming studios, knowing what you know now? Well, this is a chance to participate with one of the best studios in the entire industry. You get an experienced and knowledgeable team who's been around for decades, You get a revenue-generating product directly supported by Illuvium and a well-established community active across the sector. You've got everything from launch pads and KOL rounds with other studios to gaming platforms that are going to be launching as part of Lizard Labs. So if you want a general exposure to the entire industry, this is a great place to be. Lizard Labs, the Ethlizards community, and I want to add you to our kick-ass table of partners building out the Nexus of Web3 Gaming. We've got an enormous long-term vision, and in this step, we need partners who believe in the industry to join with us. Now, I know much of the current meta and narrative is that gaming token launches are dead. I see it literally every day on my timeline on Twitter. The sector's been really hit hard with a lot of focus on things like meme coins, DPIN, AI, many other hot narratives that are going on. But we know that many launches in gaming have been successful and will continue to be so, as the sector really finds its own in 2024. There's going to be major attention coming back into gaming later on this year, and so a successful token launch is critical. We want you to be involved with us as part of that. So we're going straight to the most active individuals in the space with a public airdrop. We've enhanced some of the very best approaches that have been used by previous projects and have a state-of-the-art data analytics approach to identify the most active participants in Web3 gaming, both on the gameplay side and in the metagame economic side. Therefore, we're partnering with many of these top-flight brands to go along with other marketing activities, including our Lizard Lookout industry report, spaces, and other game studio partners that are going to be doing co-marketing with us for our token launch. Because the Lizards have the best meme game in the space, you can also expect our normal viral content coming up to capture attention. Now, while our brand is both fun, irreverent, and memey, our team's ability to execute is anything but that. We've assembled a killer lineup of builders. None of our leadership team has less than 15 years of experience in either technical or leadership functions that they're in. We've got a multitude of additional contributors, including both team members and community members who have been through the ups and downs of crypto and gaming over the past decade. I'll refer to our execution over the past year to show what we can do. Additionally, we've got some fantastic backers. In many cases, these folks are Ethlizard holders from day one that are well positioned to support us in a variety of ways across the sector. I can go through names, but folks like Robbie, Anton, and Aaron don't really need an introduction from me. Certainly, Kieran and others from the Illuvium space have shown an ability to put together an amazing team and deliver on a very big vision. They're working closely with us on a regular basis through the building process and remain an integral part of our success. Kieran and I were speaking in the early days as we began to scale up Lizard Labs, and he asked me, why couldn't Ethlizards become as big as the Bored Apes? My response was that I didn't see us becoming as big as them. I see Yuga, Azuki, Pudgy Penguins wanting to become as big as us. And that's for one reason. We have a single huge advantage over them. They're trying to take a brand and a community they've built and figure out how to make games that can attract their community. That's really, really hard. It's possible one of them might succeed, but building games is anything but a sure thing. We have a major advantage in that we're building on top of games that we know gamers actually want to play. And we're building a brand, an IP, and a competitive gamer community by going where gamers actually are headed. We know gamers don't care about lore, community, or branding until they love the gaming experience that you're giving them. And so we're focused on giving these immersive experiences to them on top of the very best games in the sector. If you can turn gamers into fans, they'll buy into and support everything that you can do as a studio. And that's what we want as far as the storytelling for Lizard Labs to continue on for the next decades in Web3. To the point where we don't think of Web3 gaming, we just think of it as gaming. We want you to build together with us as a leader in the space. So, are you ready to scale up your game with Lizard Labs?